So Zoun has been playing an interesting style in ZVP. Now, those of you that saw the Dark series earlier today, and I'm not even through with it yet, but what we saw a lot of was, we saw a couple Twilight builds that just didn't work. And then we saw Zoun go for a more Stargate-based format, and it worked really well. So I'm wondering whether Zoun has kind of learned from the sins of not going Stargate, or, well, whether he's going to do something a bit more standard, whether he is going to go for that Twilight stuff. He's like, yeah, it's just dark builds a lot of roaches, he stays Luico. Maybe that wasn't the best decision, but Solar, well, Solar's a little bit less of a Roshi boy, even if his anti-Stargate timings are rather good. But in the early to mid game, he's less of a Roshi boy. He loves his Hydraling Bane. I mean, that was what he really, he was the one that invented and popularized that style. So we'll see. We'll have to see exactly what Zoun does opt to go for. As we're going to get our first idea of how this is going to go as the Stargate does finish. Now, of course, well, there we go. Oh, it's an immediate warp gate. The fastest possible warp gate. Sometimes you'll see it wait a little bit of time, whatever. Now, this is... it doesn't mean there's no Stargate, though, as there is the trap build that goes warp gate into Stargate. But no, there we go. Twilight Council on the way. Game number 1, once again, Zoun appears to, at the very least, to like to start his series against Zerg with this Twilight style. And, I mean, we might very well see, and we might very well see the same thing that we saw in the Dark series, where Zoun, he starts with this build that honestly is not all that great in the meta right now. And he loses, but it keeps Solar honest. It forces Solar to have to prepare as if that was something that is going to be a possibility later on. At which point, later, other things are more impactful because Zoun did throw a game or two away doing something that is quote-unquote suboptimal. Hey, Z-Schling! Thank you so much! Oh man, that just makes me so happy. Thank you! Zogger, and I'm not exactly sure what you're referencing. I don't think I made reference to reading anything. So I'm not exactly sure what you're referencing. That the Trials and Travails being 2 minutes delayed, it makes me so sad. It's hard to have conversations. And realistically, I mean, I understand why we have to do it. I'm not complaining that we're doing it or that we have to do it. I understand why. But I mean, one of the reasons I do this, right, is I get to meet new people from around the world. I talk about this a lot, actually. I love online games, internet, all that stuff. And I mean, StarCraft is just a wonderful competitive game, but also because I love meeting people. All right, I love people in general. I'm extremely extroverted, which, you know, is fun in COVID, but I love meeting new people, right? Making friends, all that stuff, making these connections, and avenues like this allow me to do that. So, with that being said, if you want to hang out, join my Discord. We talk about robots, we talk about StarCraft, we talk about anything we want to. And also, I stream on a bunch of different platforms, so if you're trying to keep track of me and you don't have Twitter, do that as well, because I'll be doing a best of 9, all maps played, between Cure and Creator tomorrow, actually. Okay, there we go. So, already we're seeing a little bit of damage done here by these Adepts, as a Queen will go down. How many Queens do we have, though? We have 3. So, hey, you know what? Knocking Queens down, that means less creep spread, that means less injects. That's always nice. Less transfuses as well, as I believe that was a higher energy queen. And now, well, Zoun's going to move on in. There's not a lot here. He's going to get this Ravager Cocoon easily. And Zerglings, they're just going to run right on by because they cannot take this fight yet. There we go. Second Cocoon will go on down. And Zoun, for the moment, I mean, this is looking rather good. He's not really committing to it. And instead, he's just taking these rather positive trades on the edge of creep. But now a bunch of Zerglings, they're going to look to go on in. And this is the hold that has become a little bit more popular as of late. Right, where you go... Oh, okay, that War Prism did get a little bit damaged there. I guess it was trying to shark around into the natural, but you get a bunch of Lings, and you only get like 3 Roaches. You turn them into Ravagers, and then you just drop miles on the Lings round. But this is rather... It's rather precarious, right? If you don't estimate where things are going to go properly, it can go real bad for you, because, again, a little Adepts can shred a lot of Zerglings. Once again, we do have the Adepts. They're going to keep moving on in here. And, you know, they're gonna find a bunch of undefended here Ravagers. So one Ravager goes down immediately, and now we have Adepts on into the natural as well. So we're gonna start to see some probe damage here. It's always the 2 Adepts, it's not the 20. So there we go, 2 workers will go down. I would love to see this War Prism in the main base. But actually, no, the third base kind of defends the main, if that makes sense. As this third base, yeah, this third base from Zoun will not be allowed to go on up. But the third base being in this triangular position makes it more difficult for the War Prism to really find its way on in. As the War Prism, once again, is going to try to find something, but, well, nothing doing yet. These Adepts, they don't have a critical mass to really get anything. I mean, they got 5 workers, I think, but we're a total of, I think, 9 workers over the course of this game right now. And 9 workers is not the damage that Zoun is looking for yet. As he is, sure, he's equal on worker count with his opponent, which, fine, whatever. But his third base is only just now getting started. Solar has a lair on the way. Solar has a decent army. Oh, by the way, we talked about that worker lead. It's hotkeyed with the army. We saw... Who was it? Oh, yeah, we saw Jon Snow do this in the series versus Trigger the other day. And, I mean, immediately he died. Okay, so Zerglings, they're going to... Oh, no, the Adept... It's not perfectly in the wall, so Zerglings are going to find their way on into the natural. And yes, it looks like some Adepts got something done here in the main base and the natural here of the Zerg player, but man, 4 workers have died. It's only 4, actually. Okay. Link on the way, Colossus on the way as well. And Zoun now, he's getting ready to move out on the map here. What does he have? He's 1 Immortal, 18 Adepts. That's about it. But he has a War Prism as well, so maybe he's looking to get a little bit more done here. Zerglings, once again, they're going to look for that run by. And this should force Zoun back, but no, he's not. Just warping in Adepts here and there. And yeah, the Adept out of the wall is... Oh, okay, the Adept. Never mind. Wait, we're good. Adept will be able to stay alive. And yes, a couple workers will go down. But now we have Adept shading on into the natural as the army here of Zoun attempting to bulk through the third base. And it's 2 Immortals. I mean, that's not a cheap army. The Spine's going to go down immediately. Queen as well, trying to target this War Prism down, but it's unsuccessful. Adepts now, they find their way on into the natural as well. Another Queen does go down. And yeah, a couple workers died. Sure, Zoun. He's going to be kind of fine with that, though, as he's going to get 10, 11, 12 workers here. And the Immortal drop getting so much damage done as well. Solar's not actually mining right now. Yeah, he's mining out of the third base a little bit as these Adepts, they find their way out into the natural here. But these Immortals are getting so much done. They're actually starting to target this hatch down. It's not going to be enough this time. I don't think... Wait, no, is he going to... No, he's going to get it. He is going to get the hatcher here. It is now a 2-base Zerg, but oh no! He picked up an Adept, which means one of these Immortals does go down, but I'm not even sure that matters here. Adepts now into the main base as well. 25 workers have died. Solar, he's an all-in Zerg against a player that has Sentry Colossus, with Blink just about done as well. So, we're going to have our second Colossus done too. This is so good here for Zoun. That's it. GG, Zoun. He takes game 1. As we get on into this game number 2 of this semifinals, I have some exciting news. I know I talked about it in my Discord, I talked about it a little bit earlier, but I'm still kind of over the moon about it, so I'm going to keep talking about it. I have been offered a couple days on the ESL. I was offered 1 day on the B stream as well, but that's when my brother's graduating. And you know what? As much as I would love to be on the B stream of DreamHack, oh, wait. That's a weird wall. Okay, I guess not that bit of a weird wall. And interesting, this is a very different wall from what Astrea did on this map. So it is kind of interesting that we do see Astrea and Zoun go for very different walls here on this map. Just because, again, they're teammates and you would expect some sort of equality or some sort of a equal-ish, some sort of equivalency in their play. At the very least for structures. But yeah, again, as much as I want to be on B stream, that sounds incredible. My goal at the start of the year was to make C stream by the end of the year. So the fact that I'm going to be doing 3 days of the C stream here for the DreamHack Master Summer, well, that makes me very happy indeed. I'm very excited about that. And as much as I would like to go be on the B stream as well and take that 1 day that I was offered, my brother's graduating, and I'm not going to miss that. So. Anyways, still very excited about that one, though, and if you want to watch me, it's going to be me and, I'm going to have a co-caster every day, but that is not totally confirmed yet, so I can't really talk about that yet, but it's going to be me and someone else on the 25th, the 29th, and the 30th of May, and it's going to be some long days. Wait, what? Is that something that Twitch does, that you can invert emotes? 'Cause I know that's not an emote that I have, but it's got my prefix on it. So I didn't know you could do that, Buckboy. That's pretty cool. The more you know, the more you learn. Okay, so these oracles are going to try to get something done on in the main base here. 3 workers do go down, which 3 workers for 2 oracles. The oracles do stay alive. Sure. Any sort of damage you can get done with this is nice. But again, it's interesting. I kind of autopiloted through this, but this is a triple Oracle build. No Void Rays, so we're not going to see a big Sky Toss commitment. But it's also triple Oracle into ground, right? We've seen Zest go triple Oracle into carriers rather recently, and that was actually against Solar, and Solar just kind of smashed it with a Hydra Queen Nidus. Okay, so the Oracles are going to look to dive on in here, and hey, you know, they're getting a lot more the second time around. 3 more workers do go down, and I guess that's the same, but it feels like more because, well, it does. Actually more because I thought there was a higher potential for damage. But anyway, Oracle, it's going to get more damage done here. So 6 workers have gone down here for Solar at this point, which is not game-breaking damage, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it is damage that will keep Solar in check a little bit longer before he just starts to grow out of control. Solar also does not appear to be interested in going for some sort of Queen Roach timing. I think he understands the type of game that Zoun is playing, and he doesn't need to go break him here because it's just going to be a bunch of Void Rays. Thank you, Zogern. I did literally one series for ESL on their C stream for Europe back in the fall, and it was actually pretty funny because they paid a premium to like bring me in at the last second because they needed someone, and it was Steadfast and I, and we did this, and it was literally one series. It was Rail versus Stefano. It was actually a really cool series. It mattered a lot. I believe it was because Rail was really good in that group thus far, but he was running into hard competition, and it was that series was pretty make or break. There was whether he made it to the playoffs, I think, if I remember that properly. But the series ended up being like 20 or 30 total minutes, and it wasn't even broadcast properly. It went to the wrong profile, really unfortunately. So it had to be rebroadcast from replay. And it's a shame too because I thought we had a really good cast. The Oracle's getting a lot of damage done. 10 workers here. Zoun is getting so much done here with so much more done with these Oracles than you normally see. Now it does look like Solar here. He's getting ready for the next level of his aggression. We have Roaches. We have Ravagers on the way. And channel, I never use channel points, like at all. Okay, so Zerglings will find their way on into the main base, but they're not going to get anything done. And Zoun, that is something that he has been a bit vulnerable to. It feels like his walls have been down a little. No, never mind. I'm thinking of his teammate. But certainly the wall was down right there, which didn't mean Solar got a full scout on things. But I mean, this is just a massive Blinkstalker Sentry timing here that's going to come out across the map. Do we have any Immortals? No, it's just Blinkstalker Sentry with a couple of depths. And, well, Solar's moving out on the map here as well. Those force fields are going to be really nice, sectioning off a decent amount of those Ravagers immediately. But, oh, the Sentries will go on down. And now, well, Zoun, he has to make the defense happen. It's kind of funny, actually, as he's getting ready to be aggressive right around the same time his opponent is. But he's only down 15 army supply, and he has the static defense. He has defender's advantage to make this happen. So I don't think he's going to be that upset about this happening right here, right now. And actually, no, he's going to go on the aggressive here. Just try to target down as much as he can with a bit of an aggressive blink. He does have Colossus on the way, which normally I would like, right? Against Roach Ravager, Link, fantastic. But here's the thing, right? Solar has Hydras on the way, which, again, Colossus is very good against that. But Lurker Den about halfway done. Hive about halfway done. This Lurker timing is going to be powerful indeed here from Solar, but Zoun, he's going to try to make it so it's too expensive to really buy those Lurkers. As he's getting ready to move out on the map here, just putting some pressure on Solar. And now Extend Thermal Lance is about 2/3 of the way done. Do we have any? We don't have any Colossus with this army yet. Where are they? That doesn't really matter. The push, well, it does matter, but the push at the front is what we're focusing on right now. Okay, so Zerglings, they're going to try to get a counterattack here, but a bunch of Zealots will be warped on in to defend this. And these are slow Zealots, which is something. But okay, the Colossus is going to be revealed now, and that's the big thing. Even as these Zerglings do go down, they got their job. They forced a warp in of Zealots at home, and they scouted the Colossus. So now Zoun here, he has a powerful army, but it is absolutely an army on a timer. Colossus, not very good against Lurkers, especially when Lurkers have range. Before then, they're somewhat decent. But again, after Lurker range is a thing, they really do struggle, especially with the Vipers getting ready to hit the field here. But now, well, this Blinkstalker Colossus army here on the left-hand side is going to try to move on in. The creep spread is not all that developed. And now Stalkers, they will be able to knock this base out, force the cancel there. But it has to be more than that. It has to be more than just denying things. So actually, the army here of Solar is just going to try to force a recall, and he is most likely going to be successful. I mean, there's this one Colossus here standing strong. But oh, it's got to micro its way on back. Roaches are going to try to dive on top of it. We have a shield battery, though. And actually, this Colossus should be able to make this defense happen. But again, this is just Solar buying time. This is not Solar with the explicit intent of killing. Oh, that's going to be a nice blink, though. Forcing Solar to here to take this fight. But this is not with the explicit intent of trying to kill Zoun here. I mean, if he does it, that's nice. But this is with the intent of delaying, of waiting for those Vipers to get on up, to get more Lurkers, to do all these things, to get Lurker upgrades. All these things that he needs to really fight this army of Zoun. Because right now, Zoun cannot fight Solar. He could have 1 minute ago, he could have when Zoun was actually moving out on the map. But not now. As we have 9 Zealots warped on into the main base here, and these ones do finally have charge. So they will be able to get on in here. Queens are going to just get targeted down immediately. Zealots getting warped on into the natural, or dropped on into this third base as well, and that's just not going to get anything done. But the Queens will get taken out here. And now we have the army of Zoun on the left-hand side as well. There are no Lurkers here. Now they're going to try to show on up. But the Colossus, they're just going to keep micro-ing backwards, doing what they can. One Lurker goes down. Second Lurker not going to get targeted down, though. Only 3 workers die. And this was a cool move from Zoun, but it really didn't get what he needed. Yeah, Buck Forward, I do too. Unfortunately, I need to get a couple more mods because it's really hard to manage predictions when you're 2 minutes behind, and alt tabbing out of the game actually causes the game to lag. It's a StarCraft bug. It's not an issue with my computer. So I very much agree. And if you want to, Buckboy, if you want to run it, I'll mod you right. Oh, I'll mod you right here, right now. All right, you're definitely in the stream enough. So now we have Zoun. He's gonna look here on the middle of the map. Really, he's just trying to find what he can. I mean, these Lurkers, he can't really fight them. He does have carriers on the way. Once he has carriers, he's gonna be in a much better spot. But I really like this, right? So Solar's getting aggressive here. Sure, Zoun has a recall though, so no big deal there. And he's just gonna try to get as much damage as he can, knock down as much tech as much economy as he can, before his opponent really really punishes him for this. So Lurkers, they're back home, sure, but the Colossus are standing strong, and there's one Lurker here. There is detection for it, though. Lurkers are going to look to burrow on in. There are 3 Colossus, and they are standing strong here. Third base is starting to go on down. Zealots, well, they got to get the spines first, but they're getting other stuff. And here's the thing, right? Zoun is on top of tech. He's on top of production. He's on top of bases. Solar, he is just barely there yet. He's now finding his way on into the natural and into the main base, but if this is a base trade, and it looks like it might very well be, Zoun, he has the timing advantage. He's on top of the third base. He's on top of the fourth base, or excuse me, the natural already here. The third base is going on down, and we're seeing Zealots on in the fourth base as well. Army moving on into the main base here. The tech is being removed, which means that even if Zoun does lose this army, which I don't think he will, or I should say even if Zoun is forced into this true base trade scenario, well, not gonna be all that great. So how many carriers do we have on the map right now? We don't. Did the carriers go down? Okay, so the 3 carriers popped and they did go down, but I'd love this actually. We have Tempest on the way. Tempest build faster than carriers, but also they can fight from the dead airspace. They can fight from range, and that means that this Tempest is just going to be infinite damage unless it died. Oh, where is it? Oh, okay. I guess it was recalled. Yeah, Tempest was recalled on over to the 6 o'clock base, but now we have this Colossus. They're sitting on the high ground. Solar has no economy. He has very little production. Now, the Stalkers are going to blink on down on the low ground, and that's not all that great. Do we have any detection, actually? Where's this observer? Okay, we do. So the Lurkers here, they're trying to fight strong, but they are just going down here. Stalkers blink on forward to soak up some shots. So we're just looking at this now. We have no Lurkers here on the map. There is a 1 Viper that's going to try to do something. This base is slowly getting taken on down. Actually, the Tempest was killed. Looks like the Tempest was killed here, but we do now have a carrier on the map. This is a lot of Hydras, though, to be sure, but you got to remember, right? There are 3 Colossus on the map here. 3 Colossus against Hydras. Well, that is a fantastic thing. All right, so that's just going to be it, though. Solar, he's going to tap out GG. So Zoun takes game 2. But anyway, so this is going to be a Stargate opener from Zoun, and this is an interesting one because this map gives us fantastic ZVPs. In the late game, once the rocks get broken on down, you get attacks from every angle, especially once this gold gets mined out too. It gets so cool. But in order to do that, you have to survive the mid game. And both bases here, now maybe not the far one as much as I originally thought it was because it's just so far away from the Zerg Natural. But it's still wide open, right? It's hard to make this defense happen. So what I've seen players like Zest do is really go for a 2-base carrier build on this map. And that actually does a very good job of punishing the Roach, Ravager, Queen all-ins. We're gonna have to see what exactly Zoun does go for, though, in this game, as it is Warp Gate, or Stargate into Warp Gate once again. Void Ray into Oracle, and the fact that it is Void Ray first tells me that it's most likely not double Stargate, two base carrier, and well, third base to 350, not two base carrier. But I'm a bit disappointed. I was kind of hoping we would see that. But our next question though is how many yeah, working as intended. Oh, okay, so double Stargate build here is we do have one Oracle that's going to fly across the map, and already a couple Zerglings, they're going to try to get something done. I mean, realistically, it's not going to get much, but Solar is one of he does this more than a lot of Zergs, where he just kind of sits there, moves across the map with like 8 to 12 Zerglings, and tries to kill off an Adept, in third base, force an extra warp in, and he always gets it. So it's something really cheap that you can do. You have a couple extra Zerglings. Actually, you know what? This Adept here is going to force in a second warp in, which is a bit of a problem because the Void Ray is not in position. But on the other side of the map, well, 4 Oracles will kill 4 workers. Zerglings almost all go down. One survives to tell his friends of what he has seen. But, hey, 4 workers for an Adept and a half. Actually, I think there was 2 Adepts. Not bad. Now the Oracle's going to look to fly on in. Once again, the Queens are out of position here. This is this is actually starting to become significant here for Zoun. This is only 1 Oracle, and he's going to get 7 workers. And I mean, that's with 4 Queens already committed to. That's with 4 Queens sitting here in this base, and the Oracle gets 7 workers. That is massive here for Zoun in this game. And he is going on for the ground transition behind this, but this is still double Void Ray. All right, this is double Stargate play. This is the standard build that Trap iterated upon that showed everyone how good it could be back at the start of the year. Zargar, don't you know? School is fleeting. StarCraft, or school is forever. StarCraft is fleeting. So you should watch the StarCraft. I say this as I'm a PhD student. Listen to my advice. Don't listen to my advice. Yes. Anyway. So now we have the walk here. Queens, Roaches, and Ravagers finding their way onto the other side of the map. But, well, Zoun, he already has the static defense on the way. And one of the nice things about this map, it's the natural and the main and the third base are not quite as separated out as they otherwise would be. Sometimes we see this, as Oxide is a really good example of this, where there's just this pocket where the Zerg can just kind of sit and pressure both bases, and it's just really hard for the Protoss to hold. There is still a pocket like that on this map, but it's not nearly as big, right? So the cannons, if the Zerg gets too close to the natural, the cannons can still fire away. Shield batteries, you can still kind of hold the natural with shield batteries on the third base. It just works a little bit better. So the pilots are going to land. They're really not going to kill anything. And now, well, the Queens are going to start to get targeted on down here. Void Ray is actually just targeting down a bunch of Ravagers. Queens running out of energy a little bit as we have more and more Void Rays on the way here. This is starting to look kind of like a hold here for Zoun, which is interesting because like this doesn't often feel like it's a hold. It feels like more often than not these Queen walks are successful for the Zerg player. That being said, do we have shield battery ready? No, we have shield battery overcharge ready, but we don't have the energy for it, at least not on the third base, which is a bit of a problem. But the Queens have run out of energy, and that's just going to be a GG Zoun. He's going to be in the finals just like that.